When I talk with people, I want you not to leave here just thrilled in the moment. If I don't do my job correctly, I need to stop doing what I do as a public speaker, because you should leave any session that you invest your time in, your money, you should leave transformed. Put a demand on all of the things that you invest with your time. It is time for you all to stop sitting on the sideline, cheering everybody else on behind you, and not accessing the resources that are right there in front of you. So I want you all to begin to imagine that you have a magic wand, and you're waving that wand, and poof, every problem, every fear is now gone, is disappeared. What does your life look like now? When I started in business, I never knew anything about brand awareness. Now there's so much information out there, and I'm just like, you can get information overkill. And I was the type, because I knew there was something within me, that I would always be the one to go to a session. If you invited me, I was coming in, and then don't tell me it was free, because I was going to be there. I wanted to know what other people knew, because I knew that there was something in me. I just didn't know what it was. And what I'm learning now, 20 years going forward in business, is that you cannot do this alone. In the movie, Adonis was afraid to use his father's name, because that name came with a lot of pain. That name came with a lot of insecurity. That name came with a lot of unresolved. However, there was significance in that name, because it was that name that got him one of the top trainers to help him to become a champion. With you all, you think a lot of times that you need to be this one-man show and work hard and do all this grunt work. And yes, in business, if you're going to be successful, you have to work hard. But there is nothing more beautiful than being a person trying to come up in the ranks and connecting with a name that has already been established. The grunt work has already been done. All you have to do is learn it. It's step by step laid out, saying, here, this is all you need. You want to make a little bit of extra money? Who wants to make a little bit of extra money up in here? Yes. You want to make a little bit? Anybody in your family, if they can't tell you how to make that next level of $1, then you need to get with the level of next with the other people that are around you who are going in that direction. You have everything you need sitting right next to you, within you, past jobs you had, and I don't have enough time to really dive into that. If I did, every one of you, I promise you would leave out of here knowing what your next would be to go ahead and increase your revenues, because that's what we're doing. We're increasing for ourselves, for our families, so that we can be better for our communities. When I looked at the definition of champion, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is the year of the champion. And I looked and I Googled, because my kids always say, Mom, just Google. And then so I Googled, so I don't have to go get a dictionary anymore. I saw that first definition, and oh my God, I was like, I don't know if I should share that first definition, because it was saying that it's a person that competes and wins a title. I'm like, Dad, winning a title? My perception was instantly stagnated when I saw that, and it became threatening, because I look at how many contests have I won. Not many, even though I'm a competitive person. And then I said, okay, everyone wants to get in that race, and you can only have one. You can only have one champion. Even if you have hundreds of people out there, it gets down to one champion. So does that eliminate everyone else's efforts? Does that stop them from being able to be considered a champ? And then I went down to the next noun for champion, the part 2 of it. And it was saying that champions are promoters, that they're advocates, that you're a champion of something. So think just for a few seconds, what can you consider yourself a champion of? Because that's where the heart of building your brand is going to be. Where do you consider yourself being a champion of? Whether it's a cause, whether it's a person, whether it's your community, whatever it is, you are a champion for whatever your circle of influence is. Everyone in here is influential. You are a leader in some capacity. Even if you were a stay-at-home mom and you're trying to figure out how this next thing works, you are a leader of your home. You're leading and you're supporting, you're pushing people. You're putting things in them that no one else would be able to do. You're learning how to stimulate growth for something that may seem dead and that just won't awaken. You bring things to life, even in the capacity of being a stay-at-home mom. So then you take that into the work field. Okay, some of you have been teachers. You've done different jobs, retail, and you're still trying to figure this thing out. Like, well, Dad, when you say brand, how do I create a brand for myself? Your brand is everything that you've been connected with. What do people recognize within you that's your distinct qualities? So when I ask you, who are you? And you give me your name, you tell me what your title is. If I Google you, can I find you? If you give me 2 minutes of your time, am I going to want to go back and Google you to learn more about you? So when you're talking with people, it doesn't matter. Don't despise small level people, okay? Because I don't believe that there's anything considered small, because everybody has a capacity for greatness. It's those lower level people, the people that you don't like to deal with, the customer service rep on the phone, the secretary in the building or whatever, that can get you access to the leader. And so if you learn how to talk to people, if you learn how to open your mouth and be confident with every word that comes out, whether you talk with a lisp, whether you stutter, whether you're country and southern, where you talk like you're from Boston, it doesn't matter. You have to be confident in your level of conversation. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to know everything. You just need to know where to go for the information to get it done. So where are your get it done people around you? Where are they? If you have not developed that, then you need to associate yourself with a group of individuals who can show you how to do that. If you keep trying to do this thing on your own and you do not have the skills or the preparation, even if an opportunity presents itself, you are not going to be ready. And even if you walk into that door and you get that opportunity, you are going to fall. And if you fall without preparation, you'll be like a lot of these people who want a title and you never heard of them again. You're going to be like those one-hit wonders. Had a good song, and you're like, yeah, I remember that one. And then after that, you'll be like, what did they sing? Years later, because there was no substance with them. When I looked at what I did throughout the years, and I started off with a dream. I opened my first business when I was 22. Made my first 6 figures at 23. And mind you, I had never taken a loan from the bank, and that was 6 figures on paper. But I had never taken a loan from a bank, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know I was creating a brand. All I knew was that my husband, had this idea of ICan. And when he did ICan, I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And he was selling shirts and everything, and he was just trying to get people motivated after the Columbine High School shooting, and he had all his motivation. I just knew that I had graduated college, and I had got me a nice little civil service job. I was going to work it and retire. And then here comes, I'm watching him, and then ideas and dreams start spinning. And I'm like, Lord, where's all this coming from? And then when it happened, I just walked into it. I walked into it passionate, motivated, but no direction. A lot of you come in with a lot of energy, right? You're ready. You're ready to take at it. And then when you see other people doing it, and they've been doing it, they're vets in it, but you look at them like they novices. Oh, they don't know what they're doing. Why don't they do it this way? They don't do it that way because they've tested and tried it, and it don't work. It just doesn't work. It may work briefly, but they're looking at long-term success. So be careful with these companies that you sign up with that give you just that quick thrill. They get you in, and then you just abandon. And it's like, what happens? And then when you become abandoned, what do? You abort your promise. And then you're just sitting here year after year after year, and you're wondering, how did I get here? How do I get out of this? Well, you're in the right place today at the right time. When you're building your brand, it's everything that you're connected to. You don't have to go trying to do it all big and getting 20,000, 100,000 followers to get your public figures check on Instagram and all of those things. Many of the great people I know who I've consulted with, I think they may be on LinkedIn or something without a picture. And mind you, they got multi-million-dollar commercial companies and everything. And they may have did a couple of posts. But, the average person that seeks the celebrity status knows nothing about the powerhouses that don't even, put themselves out there in social media. You all may be those silent threats in here. So don't worry about the popularity of social media. Don't get lost in that. You're going to spend so much time wasting going through Facebook, seeing what everyone else is doing. Your feelings are going to get hurt because people put a lot of images up there that are lies. It's false. And you're selling yourself off of false ideas and desires that people have and comparing yourself with a lie. And when we look at the art of championship, when you face a champion, if you look at the person in the mirror, that's going to be your greatest competitor right there. That's going to be the person when you're stepping out and you're saying, yeah, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get 10 clients today or this week. And you know what, I'm going to jump into this area over here and I'm going to try, let me see over here. There's a new crematory company. They've just opened up. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to see if I can build a collaboration there. And then all of a sudden, the competitor in the mirror says, you don't have a name for that. You're not able to do that. You're not prepared for that. You're going to go in a lot of times. If you do that and you're not prepared, you're going to fail. You're going to make yourself look bad. And guess what? You're going to close the door for the next person that has the potential to walk into that seat because they were prepared, because you gave that person that had the opportunity to connect you gave them a bad impression. And then it just stains it for everybody. And then we got to work harder to try to build those connections. But yet, imagine being that person up under someone that has an established name, someone that has already put in the grind work. They're respected in their area. They're seen as an expert. And all you do is, you're an ambassador for it. You're a constituent of it. This is what you're doing. I represent this, but I'm coming in with who I am. And so when you come in that way, guess what? That then bridges that gap. And next thing you know, the crematory done said, you know what? I want to sign your group because you sold the group. You're that relator. You're that connector, whatever your skill is. And then you sold that group, and you sold that vendor, and then now all of a sudden you've created, you don't even have to go out and invest in marketing for the next 6 months to a year because they're doing all the marketing. All you're doing is an insert in the package, and they're calling you. Doesn't that seem easier than the individual approach? See, if you're not prepared, you won't think like that. But your visionaries will. Your managers will. A good manager will. If you're under someone that doesn't allow you to grow, go. Get out of there. Quickly. Deuces. If you can look at your life today and there has been no growth from last year, you got to change something. No one should be comfortable there. I don't want to look like I did. I do want to look like I did when I was 20, because that was a nice look. I looked at an old picture. I was like, yo, if I could get that body back. I do want to have certain presentations of it. But what I'm saying is you all just have to be prepared. I can't say it enough. I can give you several steps, but, things that I want you to remember. These 3 things I do want you to remember. When you're doing brand awareness, I want you to know that you are the answer to a problem, number 1. What problem are you answering? You all are doing about the same thing when it comes to insurance, but the way in which you do it should be different. No group should be the same. We should all have similar methodologies that we use, but the approach in which we get it done should be different. And if you're under great leadership, they want you to bring that different in there. Because that different is going to allow them to grow. As they grow, they can sow more into you, help you to grow, and get to where you need to be. Some of your managers, they're so profound at what they do. They've looked at you and they've already determined, she or he's not going to be with me too much longer. Because they see that fire in you. They see that you're a great learner. They see that you're relentless. They see that you're not afraid. And they're willing to put their name on the line for you. So a lot of times you think you can just come in and sign up for something and then we'll just be like okay with it because you think we're trying to grow numbers. I'd rather not have you if you're going to be a liability to me. You need to know that you have what it takes. You don't have to be scared anymore. If you're going to be, it's okay to be a little nervous, but do it up under somebody else's belt. So when you do make a mistake, you can go right back and you can be like, I didn't get that right. And then they can be like, how much did it cost me? Oh, it didn't cost much, but I lost the client and this is what happened. And then they start teaching you. And then they'll say, okay, well, you lost that one, but just go out and try to do better and go get 3 more. I'm okay if you lose the one, because I know you're developing and you're training, because I'm not going to put too much on you that I know you're not ready for. But if you lose the one, it's okay, because I'm going to get you to a place where you're going to be able to get 5 off of that one. That's what a great leader, trainer, developer is able to do for you. Don't be concerned with what you lost. You got to lose to be able to learn. You got to lose to be able to gain. And God knows I'm losing a lot in the stock market right now. If they don't get it right with that daggone wall, I'm like, Lord, my money, I'm losing. But they keep telling me, well, don't worry about that, because it's going to come back up. And I'm like, well, Dad, how much do I got to lose before I see it come back up? And then it starts making you want to jump ship. And then if you jump ship too early, then you've lost all these things and you got all these penalties. And it was more cost than what it was worth the investment. How do you want to invest the rest of your time this year? The second thing, you need to make sure after you recognize that you're the answer to the problem, that you have to bring solutions. A good brand always brings solutions. When I think about Chick-fil-A, I know I'm going to get, welcome to Chick-fil-A, how may I serve you? If I'm having a bad day, I'm going to Chick-fil-A, even though I don't even eat meat. I'm going to Chick-fil-A just so I can hear somebody say, how can I serve you? And then I'm going to take a chance on somebody in front of me paying for it, because that's what they do, because, a lot of times people over there, they paying it for it, then they pay your meal for you. You're like, yeah, I came in at the right time. Because I go there with a level of expectation. You have to bring a solution to something. You're dealing with people who are going through different levels. Who's your client? What's the level of your client? Is your client someone that is in pre-contemplation? I got the information. I'll sit on it for a little while. Or is your client the one that's contemplating? You know what? I've been thinking about it, and now they're calling you. And then they're just wasting a little bit more of your time. And then you're just like, okay, are you just going to go ahead and take action? And then you have the person that goes ahead and they take action. You have to determine what you have the tolerance for. What does your brand have the tolerance for? So when you're coming in, are you nurturing those who are pre-contemplating? Are you nurturing those who are contemplating? Or are you nurturing the action people? You don't have to know all and do all. Send them to where they need to go. Because when you move them, then they're moving other people to you. It's just like a revolving door. You worried about, okay, well, if I tell somebody about this potential client here, they're going to get it, I'm going to lose it, and it's not going to be enough for me. Not every person is for you. Not every idea that you have is for you. Some things are just for you to just sow into the lives of other people. You make them great, so then while they're getting great, you're becoming great in the process. Much of what I do, whether I'm doing it in my foster care agency, whether I'm helping my husband with his clothing line, whether I'm doing it as a general contractor, it doesn't matter. My whole purpose is to help people prepare to win. When you change the focus of everything that you're doing and you're preparing someone else to win, then you're able to present yourself, you as the product or service, in a different level. You come in trying to sell yourself and you don't believe in yourself. That's why a lot of you can't convert. You know, you say it, you sat in the class, you've talked it, but then yet you don't see any results from it. Why? Because you don't believe what you're saying, and believe it or not, people around you, they're not sold on it either. Be confident in what you're coming into and what you know. You lack confidence in a lot of areas because you don't even know who you're talking to. Focus on who your group is. Who is it around you? With your brand, you have to be able to know what other people are doing. It's not just people who are just in insurance, but it's other people out here who you need to connect with. What other people do you need to learn about? And then you can bring it back to the team that you're with, and then everybody can brainstorm. Now you got strategy, and you have the, I got it moment. And then you can go out there, and then you're not afraid to make the mistake, because guess what? You make the mistake. What do? You get back up, you take it right back to the team. Look, this happened. I wasn't able to convert. What did I do wrong? They'd be like, okay, let's exchange. How did this work? And then you all are just bouncing off one another. And then you still got that momentum going. And then you get back up, and you go back to that group again, and the next thing you know, you're like, and they say yes. And you're like, yes? You wanted it, but you weren't expecting it, those type of moments. That's what you want to begin to happen, but you want it to be fluid. You want it to consistently work for you, and you want it to work favorably for you. The last thing, create momentum. In your brand, you can't just post something here. You can't just call someone one time, not follow up. You have to have continuous momentum. So if you're doing something that you're passionate about, how can you bring your passion into the work that you do so people can begin to recognize who you are? What are your distinct qualities? When I look at you and we talk now, I'm not knowing just a name. I'm not knowing just a title. I know a qualified individual. I know someone that brings an answer to a problem. I know someone that can bring me a solution. And I know that if I continue to follow them and become aware of who they are, they're always going to be creating momentum.